If you voted for Donald Trump and me, or if you voted for Donald Trump and voted Democratic down ballot, I would really love to hear from you. This is not a place of judgment. I'm not gonna put your stuff on blast or anything like that or dunk on it. That's genuinely not the intent here. I actually want to learn from you. I want to hear what you were thinking, and I just want to hear from you.
Here's a conversation that AOC had with MSNBC. I'm going to be playing a clip from that interview and chiming in with my thoughts. Let's get into it.
Of all the confounding results in this past election, perhaps the strangest phenomenon was the surprising number of people who voted for Democrats down ballot and then checked off Donald Trump for president. That was the case in New York's 14th district. A number of voters cast their ballot for both Trump and one of the House's most progressive Democrats, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, better known as AOC. And while the Democratic Party is still reeling from the results, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez is doing something a lot of the D.C. folks aren't doing, which is talking to social media and actually talking to voters.
She's talking to social media, everyone. She's talking directly to social media. Nice.
Figure out why this happened. Joining me now is the aforementioned Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York. Okay, AOC, what'd they say?
To me, just off the jump here, this is a huge problem with media nowadays, especially news media. I think if MSNBC was actually interested in this phenomenon, what they would do is present actual data and actual studies about why, or focus groups about why people voted in this way, and then bring on someone like AOC to talk about those results. But to bring on AOC as some sort of, the way that I'm perceiving this, as some sort of politics data expert, seems really kind of silly to me, and I think it really shows how news media isn't really interested in informing, but putting together things to create a narrative that they're interested in.
There's a lot of different things that we saw. I think there's a lot of people. First of all, it's important to note that Democrats, oftentimes when we lose elections, we think that we lost people to Trump. And that is true in circumstances, but they don't look enough at the fact that we also lost people to the couch. Mm-hmm. We have two people that we're running against. So a lot of people say, this is why I voted for you and Trump. And some people say this is why I didn't vote or didn't vote top of the ticket.
Right. Skip the top of the ticket, which, by the way, there's been a lot of paranoia about the fact that Democrats were able to win statewide in some places while Kamala Harris lost. And I keep trying to tell people there are voters who go in and either just vote the top, Trump voters who will say, I just want Trump and don't care about Republicans, and the reverse, who say,
please comment your thoughts on this. I'm interested to know what you all think. In my opinion, I don't necessarily see a reason or a point to skip anything on a ticket if you're going in to vote. I think everyone who's eligible to vote and has the ability to get time off to vote should vote. And I think that if you're going in to vote, skipping something on the ballot, that just makes no sense to me. Let me know your thoughts on that.
I'm not voting top of the ticket, but I'll vote everybody else.
Right. And I think we saw some of that happen as well. But when it comes to people who split their ticket, I think a lot of people cited several different things. One is,
again, this idea of AOC being some sort of political polling specialist, that's how I'm seeing this perceived as. I think it's really strange, very bizarre.
There is universal frustration in this country, much of it I actually think justified, that is raging at a political establishment that centers corporate interests, billionaires, and puts their needs ahead of the needs of working Americans. And we know that we can either channel this righteous rage, because there are people whose SNAP was cut off, their child tax credits were cut off, but they're seeing people like Elon Musk getting tax breaks.
I think AOC is right here. I just hate how this is being presented by MSNBC, but these are all valid points.
Then why vote for Elon Musk and Donald Trump?
And I think that, of course, is the question.
It makes no sense.
And I think part of it has to do with the fact that, and I think we're still in a process of going through the data. It's important to say that.
Yes.
And I actually think that it's important to say that the people who are rushing to say, let me give you my grand theory of what's going on right now.
The problem is you went too woke. Sorry, Kamala Harris was running with Liz Cheney at her side. She wasn't going, quote unquote, woke.
If we had an election on November 5th and November 6th, you've got an answer.
Right.
Don't listen to those people.
I agreed.
Do not listen to those people.
Co-signed.
So I want to say that we should all have the humility of saying this is an ongoing learning process. However, there is something to be said about it doesn't matter that he's lying. He's saying that I'm fighting for you. In all of this debate that people are talking about with this woke thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's because we care about trans people, and that's why.
And by the way, only Donald Trump cared about trans people because he was the one running $130 million worth of ads. The Harris campaign said nothing about this issue.
That's right. That's right. And listen, the ads, it's not to even deny the fact that these ads were effective in certain areas. What I think people are paying too much attention to is the first half of that ad, which says Kamala Harris is, or that said, Kamala Harris is for they, them. Everyone's focusing on that. They're not focusing on the second half of that ad, where he said, Donald Trump is for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Democrats very often in their messaging, they speak and in terms and in concepts and not in the second person. I care about you.
This is a good point by AOC. Again, my overall idea in this video is I don't like how this is being presented, but to AOC's point, I think what the right did very well that the left failed to do is really get the attention of middle class working folks and speak to them directly. To AOC's point, the left can speak in such generalities and in such vagueness, they lose that direct communication to working American, which I think what AOC is saying here is what she thinks lost a lot of them. Races, again, the perception that AOC is some sort of political analyst, polling analyst is strange. And I don't like that presentation by MSNBC, but some points are valid. Please let me know in the comments what you think of this conversation. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy content like this, and feel free to suggest other interviews or segments that you'd like me to react to. I'll see you in the next one.